Quickly, I'm just going to give you guys a really brief overview about what I'm expecting from you for your final. And I'm going to give you a couple really quick tips on how to go about it in a more successful way. Okay? So what we're doing for your final is I've said this before, you're drawing the same person or character from the front view and the profile view, so side view, right? So you have to think up a person, what they're going to look like if they have glasses or tattoos or dreadlocks or scars or whatever on their face. You have to think about what they're going to have and you need to stick with it. Okay, so I would make a little list of all the attributes that they're going to have: big nose, pointy nose, round lips, thin lips. Please stop making noise. Okay, and then make sure that on each drawing you have that whole list checked off. Okay, so really quick on this piece of paper up here on the board, everybody look. I'm just going to give you a really easy way to make these faces match as far as proportions go. Okay, so instead of just drawing one face right in the middle, you're going to have a forward view and a profile view on the same piece of paper. Okay, so the easiest way to get all of your proportions to match is to make all of your lines just go all the way across the paper, right? So before I draw my circles, I want to make sure that I draw those heads the same size. So I'm going to give myself a couple lines to work off of. Okay, so this is going to be the top of both heads and the bottom of both chins, right? So when I'm thinking about this, before I do anything, I can really easily just come through here and say, okay, this is halfway. That's where the eyes are going to go, right? This is halfway between there. That's where the noses are going to go. And then mouths, right? So it's really easy for me just to make those lines first and then draw the faces afterwards. So when I'm drawing my circles, I know that my larger circle is going to come all the way down to this nose line. So it should be fairly large. And then my small circle is going to go up almost to the eye line. Okay? Okay? So it's going to make sense. Big circle. Small circle. Right? Should fill in that space. Same thing over here. Profile view. Large circle. Except for my profile view, it's going to be off to the side. Right? Do that right? Yes. Small circle. Okay? So when I go to do this, if I'm drawing this profile view, and I know that this is the front of the face, and I know that this is where the eyes are going to be, and the nose is going to come all the way down to here, right? Obviously I'm doing this quickly and it's not very great. And this is going to be forehead, top of the head, top lip, bottom lip, chin. Okay, if that's going to be my profile view, I know for sure that the end of my nose on this front view has to be right there. It's straight across. I know for sure that the eyes are going to be there. I just need to make this line so I can space everything out evenly, right? I have all these things lined up so I can really easily match them, okay? This is still going to sort of be a rough draft, but once you get the outlines made, you can just take a final draft piece of paper and trace your outlines onto the final draft paper and then just shade it, right? So you can use this last rough draft as sort of the basis for your final draft. You can just really easily trace the outline of the whole head and all the features onto your final draft, okay? Here's one I started earlier, right? Sort of what we're going for. Obviously it's not even remotely done, but I did this morning in the 8th grade class. So this obviously is a better looking version of myself, and with glasses, you know, my earrings are on both sides, the beard's on both sides, the same shirt's on both sides, my awesome hairline is on both sides, right? So you're making sure that things match from both drawings, okay? You're trying to make them as identical as you can make them, but thinking about them from a different view, right? So you have to think, if you draw on this side, if you draw a really pointy nose, right? When you draw the nose on this side, you should draw it so it kind of has this point to it, right? So you need to think, oh, that needs to be higher though, right? So you need to be thinking about how you can make those things look like you're the same person on both drawings, okay? This should not happen in one class period, Okay? This rough draft is going to take us a few days to figure out. Please draw lightly, because you're going to mess up an eyeball here and an eyeball here, and you got to erase and fix and erase and fix. If you look on this one, I ended up making the top of the head a little shorter because I thought it didn't look like the top of my head. So on both of them, I lowered the top of the head. Right? My eye line, here's my original half line. As I was drawing, I realized that I don't think that my eyes are exactly in the middle of my head. And I think a lot of that is because of my beard is actually below my chin a little bit, so that messes with things. So I raised my eyes up on both drawings a little bit. Okay, so you're going to go back and forth, and you're going to move things until you get them right, and then you darken them. Okay? Questions? Work slowly. Okay, it's going to be a process to figure out how to get them all to match. You're going to have to redraw an eye 2 or 3 times before it looks right. I redrew these eyes probably 6 times this morning. Okay, and it's fine. It's part of the process. Part of drawing is fixing your mistakes as you go. Okay, so make sure you're not just drawing it once and saying, it is kind of the same, right? It shouldn't just be kind of the same. You should be working towards making it really the same. Okay, so it's going to take us a little bit of time to figure this out. It's going to take you a few retries on every little facial feature, and you're gonna tweak things a little bit. That's totally fine. Just take your time, practice. It's okay if you have eraser marks on this one. You can just transfer this when you do the final draft if you want to trace. That's fine. Okay? No questions? Okay. Fresh sheet of paper. Again, if you draw on the back, if you draw on both sides of your draft paper, you won't be able to trace because you'll be able to see through it at the window.